Have you ever felt a cold so deep it aches in your bones? That's the Arctic reminding us we live on a planet with wild, unpredictable weather. The North Pole isn't just a distant land of ice and polar bears, it can come knocking at your door. When the Arctic's frigid air escapes and sweeps across continents, it's not a movie plot, it's the polar vortex. In the winter of 2025, millions experienced its power firsthand. Cities used to mild winters froze, records shattered, life paused. But this isn't just about cold weather, the story is more complex. To understand, we have to look high above, into the stratosphere where the polar vortex spins. Normally it's contained by the jet stream like a spinning top, balanced and stable. But sometimes that top wobbles. When it does, waves of Arctic air cascade south, disrupting life far below. Our climate is a delicate, interconnected machine. A disturbance in one part can have shocking consequences elsewhere. So, what is the polar vortex? Why is it acting up? And what does it mean for our future? Let's journey to the top of the world and back, to uncover the truth behind these icy invasions. The answers are written in wind, ice, and temperature. This is a story about our changing planet, and why it matters to all of us. The cosmos is speaking through our atmosphere. Are we listening? Let's get started. The polar vortex isn't just a headline, it's a warning. Our world is changing and we need to understand how. The cold may come and go, but the questions it raises are urgent. So, keep looking up. The story of the polar vortex is the story of us. Let's find out what it's trying to tell us. Ready? Let's dive in. So, what exactly is the polar vortex? It's not a storm or a sudden event, it's a vast, swirling pool of cold, low-pressure air that sits over the poles, always present but strongest in winter. The polar vortex is held in place by the polar jet stream, a fast-moving river of wind circling the pole high in the atmosphere. As long as the jet stream is strong, it keeps the cold air locked up over the Arctic. But the atmosphere is layered, like an onion. The polar vortex lives high in the stratosphere, about 10 to 30 miles above us, while our daily weather happens below in the troposphere. These layers are connected. A disturbance up high can ripple down, changing the jet stream and our weather. When the jet stream weakens or wobbles, the walls of the vortex break down, letting Arctic air spill south. That's when you hear, "The polar vortex is coming." It means the cold air is escaping its cage. The polar vortex isn't a monster, it's a normal part of how Earth moves heat and cold around. But when it's disrupted, we feel it, sometimes in dramatic ways. So next time you bundle up for a deep freeze, remember, you're feeling the breath of the Arctic, unleashed by a cosmic chain reaction. The polar vortex is a reminder of how connected our world really is. It's not just science fiction, it's science fact, and it's shaping the winters of our future. Understanding it is the first step to preparing for what's next. The polar vortex is always there. Sometimes it just gets a little too close for comfort. That's when we need to pay attention and find our warmest coat. The polar vortex is like a spinning top, stable until something knocks it off balance. What causes the wobble? Waves of energy from below triggered by mountains or temperature contrasts push up into the stratosphere. These waves can disrupt the vortex, causing a sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW. When this happens, the vortex weakens or even splits, sending blobs of Arctic air south. The jet stream, once straight and strong, becomes wavy and unpredictable. Deep troughs let frigid air plunge into places like Texas or Spain, while ridges pull warm air north. It's a dramatic reshuffling of the weather map, all from a wobble miles above our heads. The result? Record cold in some places, unusual warmth in others. The polar vortex's instability is a powerful force capable of turning winter upside down. It's a reminder that small changes high above can have huge impacts below. When the vortex loses its cool, the world feels it, and the consequences can be extreme. The winter of 2024 to 2025 brought the polar vortex's power into sharp focus. In late December, scientists detected a major sudden stratospheric warming event. 2 weeks later, the jet stream plunged, and a lobe of the vortex settled over central North America. Cities like Chicago and Minneapolis saw temperatures not felt in decades. Dallas froze, straining its power grid. Europe wasn't spared. London was paralyzed by rare snow, and even the Mediterranean coast saw frost. Meanwhile, the high Arctic was unusually warm. The planet's refrigerator door left wide open. These events exposed our vulnerability. Infrastructure built for normal winters buckled under the strain. The 2025 deep freeze wasn't just a headline, it was a costly, dangerous disruption for millions. It showed how changes miles above can have real, immediate impacts on the ground. The polar vortex isn't just a scientific curiosity, it's a force that can upend daily life. And as the climate shifts, these disruptions may become more common. The lesson? We're all connected to the top of the world, whether we realize it or not, and we need to be ready. Why is the polar vortex wobbling more often? The answer lies in the rapidly warming Arctic. As sea ice melts and snow disappears, the Arctic absorbs more heat, warming twice as fast as the rest of the planet, a process called Arctic amplification. This shrinks the temperature difference between the pole and mid-latitudes, weakening the jet stream. A weaker jet stream is more easily disturbed, letting Arctic air escape south. The paradox, a warmer Arctic can mean colder winters for some. Scientists see a link between low autumn sea ice and more frequent vortex disruptions. The planet is a connected system. Warming in one place can trigger cold elsewhere. These brutal cold snaps aren't evidence against global warming, they may be a direct result of it. The climate system is becoming more unstable, prone to wild swings. The Arctic's fever is rewriting our winters, and the story is just beginning. Scientists aren't just worried about a few cold days. They see the polar vortex's instability as a warning sign. A wobbly jet stream brings not just cold snaps but also heat waves, droughts, and floods. Weather patterns are becoming less predictable, making it harder to plan for farming, water, and safety. The polar vortex is a canary in the coal mine, signaling that our climate is entering a more volatile state. The systems that kept our weather stable for thousands of years are breaking down. This isn't just about buying a warmer coat, it's about the future of our civilization. The stakes couldn't be higher. When a deep freeze hits, some wonder, is this a new ice age? The answer is no. Weather is short-term, climate is the long-term trend, and the planet is warming. True ice ages are driven by slow changes in Earth's orbit, unfolding over tens of thousands of years. What we're seeing now is happening in decades, and it's moving in the warming direction. For every cold record, many more hot records are being set. Glaciers are melting, seas are rising, and global temperatures keep climbing. Polar vortex cold snaps are temporary, regional events. Global warming is a persistent worldwide trend. The idea of an impending ice age is a myth that distracts from the real crisis. These cold snaps are a symptom of a system under stress, not a sign of global cooling. We're not heading for a glacial period. We're pushing our climate into a hotter, more extreme state. Understanding this difference is crucial for real climate conversations. Don't let a cold week fool you. The big picture is clear. The polar vortex is just one symptom of a planet with a fever. Greenhouse gases from human activity are thickening Earth's heat-trapping blanket. The result? More heat waves, acidifying oceans, shifting rainfall, and supercharged storms. These aren't isolated problems, they're all connected. The same forces melting Arctic ice are fueling wildfires and hurricanes. A cold snap doesn't disprove global warming, it's part of a larger, more dangerous pattern. The scientific consensus is overwhelming. The planet is warming and we're the cause. The erratic polar vortex is a blaring alarm bell. We can't ignore the warning signs. The time to act is now. The challenge is huge, but we're not powerless. Stay informed, know the difference between weather and climate, and share the facts. Demand action from leaders. Support policies that cut fossil fuels and invest in clean energy. Vote for those with real climate plans. Make changes at home, conserve energy, rethink transportation, reduce waste. Individual actions matter, but collective action is essential. We're all crew members on Spaceship Earth. The polar vortex is a warning, not a sentence. Humanity is resilient and clever. We can meet this challenge. The future isn't written yet. We can choose a safer, more stable climate. But we have to act, together. The time is now.